Mercury retrograde's over. We're still in the post shadow. Saturn retrograde's over. Venus moved into Sagittarius, and the Gemini full moon is coming up on December 4th at 6:14 p.m. Eastern Time. So what does that mean for you? First of all, I'm Sammy. I'm at Infinity Aura Ave, where I do a bunch of stuff. But for astrology, what that means is I come on here twice a month to chat to you about the new moon, the full moon, and whatever else is going on during those luminations so that we can check in with the astrology and your goals and see how we can get it together. YouTube and TikTok get the full videos. Instagram Reels gets the preview. I only get 3 minutes, so you get what you get. Come check me on another channel. If this is any indication of what the Mercury retrograde did to me, I got no nails. I got no lashes. I got no dignity left. No, I'm just kidding. The Mercury retrograde's over, but I have placements in Sagittarius and Scorpio. And Mercury retrograde attacked damn near all of them. You want to talk about an identity crisis? I don't even know who I was. But we're here. We're back. Mercury is direct, and we are back to regular programming. We never got off regular programming. I've been pretty sane. I mean, I'm keeping up with the astrology, so I knew that I was insane because of the space weather. So let's get to it. Sun in Sagittarius is bold, optimistic, curious, restless, blunt, and just really, really cool. I'm a Sagittarius. Moon in Gemini is also curious, but it's different. Gemini is curious in like, let me research and do a lot of this intellectual digging, and Sagittarius is more like, I want to explore and fuck around and find out. If you know, you know. But Moon in Gemini has a lot of ideas, sometimes to the tune of overthinking. But it's also really good at looking at all of the options and really weighing out all of the necessary scenarios, if you will, before making a decision. So we've got on one side of the chart, because as you know, the full moon is kind of like a battle, right, between the sun and the moon. Because we talked about this, we're right in the middle, right? So if the energy is on both sides of you, it's pulling on you from both sides, right? So there's this battle of this playful, fun, curious energy as far as how we want to shine our light, how we want to go out there and be seen. And then on the other side of the chart, the emotions are like, no, but I need the answers. I need to really dig deep and find out what is going on here. But because it is a full moon, you let the sun kind of do its thing, and it lights up the moon, and you kind of get a little bit of both. So like they're pulling you in either direction, but they're also illuminating each other, right? The sun lights up the moon, and then the moon reflects that light back at the sun. Plus, we have some other planets going on over here. We're going to talk about that in a minute. First, I want to talk about Mercury. And you're going to be like, why do we have to talk about Mercury again? Because we just got out of Mercury retrograde, and I am sick and tired of talking about Mercury. Me too. Okay? But we've got a Gemini full moon, and Gemini is ruled by Mercury. So Mercury started its retrograde in Sagittarius, right? And there was this sense of like, what do I believe? What do I think is true? What do I need to reevaluate in those things? And then we go back into Scorpio, and Mercury retrograde gets a little deeper. It gets a little darker. It gets a little spicier. It was spicy. And now he's in Scorpio direct for this full moon. We've talked about Mercury retrograde too. We've talked about the pre-shadow and the actual retrograde. And then the post-shadow is, I've told you guys, is when like you start to see the unfolding of really when things come to light about the Mercury retrograde, what was going on. Things become a little bit clearer. The miscommunications start to work themselves out. If you are waiting for some kind of decision, some kind of clarity, some kind of answer, or something to come to fruition from this Mercury retrograde, I can almost put money on you getting that or getting close to that during this full moon. Because it's Mercury in Scorpio, it could be some kind of secret, some kind of information that you just didn't have yet. Or maybe some information that you've been holding on to that you finally decide to share with the class. Or you finally decide, I don't want to share this. To understand where a lot of this energy for the full moon is going down for you, you want to check 13 degrees Sagittarius and 13 degrees Gemini in your chart. See where they fall and what houses they fall, and you'll have a little bit more of a bigger picture of what you got going on. So let's go back to the sun here for a second because it doesn't look like it, but these are actually a little bit closer than they are right here, where they're not really on top of each other, but they're together. They're close enough that Venus is kind of hanging out with the sun. It's not a Kazemi. She's not there yet. That doesn't happen until they're both in Capricorn later on together, but they're going to travel through Sagittarius pretty much together the entire time. Getting to Capricorn, then Venus will kind of just overtake. She'll she'll pass the sun. That's when they'll Kazemi, but they're hanging out pretty close together right now. Okay. And in Sagittarius, this is really fun. This is really good for connecting with people. I wouldn't be surprised if you find yourself with somebody in some kind of like weird rabbit hole about philosophy. It's really good for astrology, any kind of like occult knowledge. Both of these signs, Aquarius too, I would say, very prone to like digging deep as far as like knowledge and studying. We're not talking about Aquarius right now, though. We're gonna talk about these two. Um, Gemini, though, you want to think of Gemini as like the information that can be understood by the masses, right? It rules early childhood learning, so like the things that you would learn in grade school. Sagittarius rules the higher learning, so the things that you would learn at a college level or through travel, because that's what Sagittarius rules also. So this is about conversations and connections that are just a little bit more quirky. We're valuing fun. We're valuing experience. We're talking about the holiday season, right? So there's a lot of connecting, sharing experiences with people that you haven't seen in a while. I did this, I did that. Let's connect. I want to talk about it. And that's for a lot of the season. I'm not talking about just the full moon here. That's for a lot of the season. But it does come up during the full moon too. So I wouldn't be surprised if that is kind of the illumination to some of your feelings about what you're doing and what has to be done next to get to the next level. Mercury is also involved in this grand water trine with Jupiter, and it's really Neptune, but Saturn's so close that it's like almost Saturn too. So whatever this idea is, this revelation, this secret, it's there to work with the things that you are not necessarily really seeing right in front of you that are also helping you build stability, right? Because Neptune and Saturn are together here and they've been together for quite some time. And there's this sense of like, I don't really understand, because that's Neptune is like deceptions and delusions. I don't really understand the whole process of what's really going on here, but you do have to trust the process because Saturn's there too, and Saturn is not going to steer you wrong. Saturn might make a hard turn. Saturn might grab the wheel and go, "No, we're going this way," but he's taking you in the right direction. Trust in Saturn. And it's meant to build a little bit of that luck and optimism and that good feeling, even if it doesn't feel so good right away, because you don't know. The astrology is the astrology. The purpose is the purpose, right? So the event sometimes not so great, but the big picture, this is a good big picture. So just whatever's going on here, whatever you might find out, whatever you're holding on to, whatever you are really going through with this Mercury, this Mercury retrograde. I had to tell myself this too. Whatever's going on with this Mercury retrograde, it was for the best. You'll get a little clarity during this full moon, especially because it is square the nodes. I love when the illuminations are square the nodes. When the new moon square the nodes, when the full moon square the nodes, I don't care. Give me the lit up or the dark moon, square the nodes, because it's gonna take you where you gotta go. It's not meant to deter you if you work with it correctly, because when the nodes are here, it could deter you if you're not listening, because the nodes are here. Okay, it could go either way because the nodes are always opposite each other. So you have a choice with the nodes, right? You have a choice to do the thing you've always done with the south node, check Virgo, or you have a choice to do the thing that maybe will bring you a little bit towards where you would rather be, or where you don't even know that you would rather be, but you should probably be. Check Pisces. Anyway, leave me a comment. Let me know if the Mercury retrograde did you as dirty as it did me. Some people, I know you'll have a different time with it depending on how your chart's set up. I just so happen to be so lucky And I have so many Sagittarius and Scorpio placements. But the next time you see me, I'll have some lashes and some nails, I promise you. Do you guys like my new hat? Oh. Do you guys like my new hat? This is in the shop. I've got a couple new products in the shop too. I have a couple more coming back out. Working on getting my first product ever was my lotion. I'm working on getting the labels on that. My batch is ready. I'm just tweaking some things. So in the next week or two, I will have that out. Hopefully by the time I see you next time, which will be December 19th for the new moon in Sagittarius. This is our last full moon of the year, guys. I've been back doing this with you for a year. I got back on the internet and started doing my astro stuff back online again December last year. I think it was the Capricorn new moon because I was like, I'm ready to work. So, what better moon than the Capricorn new moon? It's been a pleasure. I hope it's been helpful. My readings are closed for December, but January, we're going to get into it with the new year. So you can book me online at infinityauraav.com. We can do Zoom, or if you're local, you can come down to Infinity Aura Ave, where you can see all my cool merch in person. But you can also shop it online. All right, I'm going to go. It's getting late. I got to edit this video for you guys tomorrow so I can get it out on time. So it's been real. I'm Sammy. We're here at Infinity Aura Ave. I will see you on December 19th for the new moon in Sagittarius. Bye.